Hey, what's up everybody? Mayne here from Breakout. This is another episode of Payout of the Week. Every single week, I'm taking one of the top trades taken at Breakout in the last week, and we're trying to reverse engineer it to see if we can learn something from some of these excellent, sharp traders at the firm. So this week's trade is from NMIX Enjoyer. They're private, so they're not sharing their status on the leaderboard, but we were able to see this trade. It's pretty awesome. It's an ETH long, low time frame trade. Let's get into it. This trade was taken on ETH just to start the year. We finally got some volatility back in the market, right? It was pretty abysmal around Christmas, and now we're starting to get some expansion here going forward into the new year. And NMIX Enjoyer took a $496,000 long on ETH. They held the trade for about 3 days and they profited just under $15,000. They're trading one of our $100,000 accounts, and they were going big, using up that full 5x leverage that's available, opening a near $500,000 notional position. Remember, we're the only prop firm that's going to let you use your full account margin like that. So other firms simply won't let you do it. So trying to reverse engineer this trade, what do we see here? So starting at the higher time frames, right? If you go to the weekly, ETH is definitely in a high time frame area of demand. We're down here, we've come in, we've retested this weekly order block. Whether or not we're reversing the all-time highs or not, it's irrelevant. So what's clear here is we are in the lower part of this weekly range here. So to have a bull bias on the highest time frames makes sense. Now, even though that this was a low time frame scalp, really, knowing where we are within the monthly, the weekly, the daily trend is still extremely important. If the weekly, the daily are bullish and you're looking for a long on the 15-minute chart, that long has a much higher probability of working out because you're in line with that high time frame order flow. So the weekly is in a bullish position here in the lower part of the weekly range, coming off of a test of that weekly bullish order block. Let's zoom into the daily now. Daily chart was in a clear downtrend here. However, we then flipped to an uptrend. So if we're tracking the market structure here, here's a high to a low. There's a lower high, a lower low, and then right here, we shifted into a daily uptrend, okay? So the daily market here is uptrending now. The weekly is bullish, and the daily, we have higher highs and higher lows forming here on the daily. So the expectation of bullishness on the daily in line with the weekly trend. So now when we go down to something like the 4-hour chart, you got to imagine none of this price action was visible at the time. We were trading right here, but you could argue that the 4-hour chart is in an uptrend as well. We have clear lows and highs, right? Forming an uptrend here. It looks like we're in the process of about to put in a higher high here. So we have the H4 bullish, we have the daily chart bullish, we have the weekly chart bullish. So as we dial into these lower time frames, you can make the assumption that longs are probably favored. So if we're just dialing into this little area of price here, you can see we had a clear set of highs here, right here and here. And this fair value gap kind of pushed us into a fresh high, breaking out of this little range here. We retested it and we pushed away. Zooming in even closer now, and this is what I see, at least trying to figure out why did they actually enter the trade where they did. I see us on the H4 we're bullish, daily, weekly we're bullish. We have this fair value gap here. We came and tagged it and we basically swept below. It's not an SFP, but if we have a low, we trade below it and then reclaim it, you can treat it the exact same as an SFP. Just because this wasn't a wick only, if it reclaims it, it's the same idea, the same concept. We ran lows, reclaimed it, you can now be bullish. So that's what I see here. I see a clear run of a low, reclaim and enter. And if we zoom in even more here, down to the super low time frames now, to me, the entry that likely made sense here was something like the reclaim of this low here. And then once we have bullish market structure, any of these pullbacks with your invalidation below here makes total sense to me. You don't even have to go as low as the 5-minute chart. I don't know actually what time frame, of course, they decided to enter on, but as soon as we reclaimed this low, right? We ran a low, we made a new high here, tagged high time frame. This is H4 support in the form of that SVG. Once we reclaim this low, I think any of these pullbacks are buyable. There's an H4 or an M30 order block, excuse me. Here's another M30 order block that gets tagged. You have another M30 order block here that gets tagged, and price just continues to trend up, ultimately to the target. So I don't know where their stop loss was. The information we see on the back end is the stop loss was actually up at break even. So they took it, or up at the TP, excuse me. So they trailed it up as they went. But for me, if I was taking this trade based on the weekly, the daily, the H4 being bullish, zooming into the hourly, the 30-minute, or even lower to execute, basically based on this as being a reclaim, right? An over under, entering on any of these retests here, my invalidation would be that sweep. I treat it the exact same as an SFP. If we make a low, a lower low, and then reclaim that level, the invalidation is that low. And so that's where I would have put my stop. And even with where their target is, this provided over 3.5 R. Target setting wise, we can zoom out. We always want to look to the left. We have a clear high here that got taken. Zoom out a little bit more on the H4. We're coming into resistance here. This is your H4 order block, right? This up move before the move down, right? So this order block here capped price, generated the down move. So we pushed up, came down. We have engineered liquidity right here. So this high that formed right in front of the order block, that was left to get run. Pretty good profit taking spot. It traded a little higher than their TP, then ended up coming all the way back down below where their entry is before this next leg up. So to me, this was a very good region to TP in, running that high there at 31.80 and into this H4 resistance. So that's what I would take away from this trade. Relatively low time frame, but why did we get this big move, right? From their entry to the top of that move, just about 7% there, right? Over 6% from here to here, yet they entered maybe as low as the M5 or the 30-minute. How did we know we were going to get expansion after this little reclaim and this touch of support? Well, we have that high time frame context. We know we're coming off of weekly demand in the lower part of the weekly range. We know the daily and the H4 are in bullish market structure. So when you get to these lower time frames, you have a higher probability of being correct if you're in line with the high time frame order flow. It's something I beat on about all the time. If you're shorting the market and it's not working and you're like, well, we're at resistance, we swept a high and the market's not going down, check if the high time frame is bullish. What I mean by that is quite simple. There's gonna be shorts in this area on the low time frame that work. But the shorts are going to be short-lived, no pun intended, and they're not going to give you these big expansive moves. Where the larger moves, the moves that are more likely to work out consistently on the low time frame, are going to be longs because the high time frame is bullish. So if you want more expectancy, you want a better hit rate, you want more of your trades to work, even though you're trading on the low time frame, try and make sure the low time frame trades you're taking are in line with the high time frame order flow as well. Even though you're not entering based on the weekly, the fact that the weekly is bullish means those low time frame bullish trades more likely to work out. All right, guys, that's all I got for this one. I hope you learned something. If you enjoy these videos, please make sure to let us know. We'll keep pumping them out for you. That's all I got for the video. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.